Okay. Would you mind going in a little detail? I assume you didn't BZO your weapons or fire your weapons before you left. I mean, what did y'all do? Squad, platoon, company?
We ended up taking the company out to Udari Range. Don't know where that is. All I know is a long ass track ride. It was like 3 or 4 hours in the back of a track, and then we did BZO.
What was BZO, sir? I'm not familiar.
Battle. Oh man, what's that stand for?
So it's just an acronym used for.
Yeah, it's just like your battle site.
Setting up your
sighting in your weapon.
Okay,
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, man, that sucks. I can't remember that. Anyways, yeah, so we just went there and we sighted in our weapons. And,
I believe it stands for Battle Site 0. Is that right?
Yeah.
Battle Site 0. Okay.
Yeah, Battle Site 0. So we got there and we fired a whole bunch of rounds, which was cool. And I do remember we didn't have to police call any of the brass, which was completely different compared to anything that any of the other training that we had done.
Oh.
I guess they had something contracted or I don't know. And then we ended up getting to we all threw grenades, and that's where I milked my first grenade, which was real scary.
Well, you mind just explaining what milking a grenade is?
No, you know what? I'm wrong. I didn't milk my first grenade there, but milking a grenade is when it's got a 3-second fuse. So you pull the pin, you throw the spoon, and then the fuse is burning in there, and you hold it for about 2 seconds, and then you throw it so that it doesn't get thrown back at you. But I ended up. That's not where we did it. That we just did a normal grenade throw. It was when we were in Karbala. We did a range and we milked grenades there, and it was scary.
Okay. Was there any other training I did other than weapons training? I recall from the news at the time there was a bunch of concern about chemical warfare attacks because at that time it was believed Iraq had a chemical warfare attacks.
Yeah, we did. I spent countless hours in a gas mask. Almost every day they did gas mask drills. It probably was every day. I don't know. I know it was a lot. And all they did is we'd be sitting around because we didn't have much to do. So we'd be sitting in our tent because it's not like you can just. What are you going to do? Go for a walk? So we'd be sitting in the tent reading or something or playing cards. And they'd call gas, and we'd all put our masks on and then wait for them to say all clear. Well, sometimes it would be hours before they would say, all clear on mask. So like I've got pictures of guys reading books, sitting with their gas mask on. It just looks ridiculous, but like that's what we had to do, do what you got to do and make the best of it. We also did gas mask drills while we were hiking. We did like a 3-mile hike. It was just a light load. It was the first hike that we had done in country. So
was the hike done during the day or night or?
That one was. I can't remember. I think it may have been. No, I can't even remember if that was day or night.
Okay.
It may have been night. I can't say for sure.
Well, I assume the time of the year it wasn't too bad during the day.
Yeah, it wasn't too bad, but I want to say it was in the evening, and then we got back just as it was getting dark.
Okay.
Just to keep it, so it was nice and cool.
And then you say it was just a small 3-mile hike, and it was in you are wearing gas mask at that time?
Not the whole time. During the hike, they called gas, which kind of sucked because it was like they kept on walking and like. Well, if you're in the back of the formation, there's that slinky effect. So, if some of the guys ahead of us stopped and put their gas masks on, the rest of us all had to catch up. So, by the time the word got back to us to put our gas mask on, like the guys up front had already stopped and put their gas mask on and we're already walking again. So like we're stopping, we're getting our gas mask on, and like all of a sudden, before you know it, there's this big gap, and the guys are getting all strung out, and then like you end up having to run to catch up. So you got a pack on your back, and you're running, and you got a gas mask, and you can hardly breathe because it slows the flow of oxygen. So it was pretty miserable. A lot of guys ended up falling back, and then they all cleared, and then we finished the hike. But yeah, that sucked because it was like you're sweating and your gas mask filling up with water. Yeah, that sucked.
Was that the only time y'all did a hiking country, or is there?
No, we did. There's one more that I remember, and it was like a 10-mile hike, full pack, and that sucked. It was really long. I guess it may have seemed longer than it really was because you'd walk until the horizon, and then you just kept on going. Chan ended up, he kept falling back and kept falling out. Lance Corporal Chan.
Okay. Was he in your fire team?
No, he was in my platoon. I just don't remember what squad. He may have been 3rd squad. I can't remember. I think he was in Mejia's squad. I can't remember. But he ended up falling back, and everyone was yelling at him, and they were calling him names like, hurry up, and he ended up finishing the hike. But when he finished the hike, he went to medical and ended up finding out that he had a fracture. So he did this hike with a fracture in his foot, and he finished it.
Oh, did he?
But he got sent home, so he didn't get to cross with us and do any of the war.
Oh, I imagine he was pretty disappointed.
Yeah, he felt like an outcast. Like when we got back, he kind of felt like an outcast, or like any time a Marine misses training, they feel like they're left out, I guess.
Okay, and that was a pretty hard hike, you said.
Yeah, it wasn't any fun, that's for sure. Seemed like it was never going to end because they're like, you see those those power lines over there? We're like, yeah, we're walking to those, and then we're like, okay, and then we got to the telephone wires, and they're like, you see the 16th telephone wire down there? We're walking to there, and then we're gonna hook a right, and it's like, holy crap, when's this ever gonna end?
Okay, is there any other training or anything else you want to add before we start with the ground war itself?
We also did some tank infantry integration training, which was pretty cool. We got to go out and work with the tanks out in the desert, and that was really cool because that was like the first I had really ever worked with any tankers or anything like that. And a sandstorm ended up coming up like at some point during the training, and everyone was disoriented, and to my memory, like the tank that I was with like kind of got a little bit lost, and we didn't really know which direction to go, and I kind of thought that was ridiculous, but I wasn't in charge, so I didn't, I was like, follow a compass, how hard could it be? But we ended up, but other than walking all over the place to find our way out, it was kind of cool. We had an entire squad just packed onto this tank, drove around.